Okay, Chuck, take it away!
Okay, the mistletoe riddle. Alice had to choose, but couldn't imagine how. Each of her lovers had asked her to commit. Talia, her first love, was high-tech, wrapped in warmth and curves. Talia touched her heart with passionate love notes, hidden for her to find through the day. In the evenings, they often experienced the comfort of companionable silence that only came with shared history. By contrast, Christopher, Chris, her new love, was a literary voltage enveloped in cool romance. He appealed to her spirit and mind with poetry that was thought-provoking with touches of whimsy. She and Chris talked, texted, and chatted at every opportunity. In person, they could hardly keep their hands off each other. Part 1, Talia. She and Talia had become roommates as college seniors. Then at a dorm party, a playful girl-girl kiss during Truth or Dare generated unexpected electricity. Talia quipped, "You kiss pretty good for a girl." Their friends had joined in the laughter and the game moved to the next person. But back in the room, Talia asked, "How'd you feel about that?" Alice looked puzzled. "The kiss, silly." Alice swallowed her snarky reply when she saw her friend was serious. "To be honest, it was kind of sweet." Something new, but not unpleasant, stirred inside of her. "I liked it." Talia stepped closer. "About that kissing stuff." "Yes?" Alice felt goosebumps as her friend drew her in. Talia pressed her warm lips against Alice's trembling ones. "I think we need more practice." Alice surprised Talia by taking her by the hand and almost dragging her to her bedroom. In the morning, as they left for class, Talia joked, "Think of the time we're saving by having to make just one bed in the morning. Yeah, we can turn my bedroom into a study room." Their joy was so great they barely noticed the arrival of spring, but as graduation neared, reality set in. They'd soon be pursuing careers on opposite coasts. Their last night was a mixture of tears and laughter, hands and lips expressing what mere words couldn't. In the morning, Talia boarded United 1742 for New York. 2 days later, Alice pointed her 5-year-old Camaro toward LA to the beat of the Beach Boys' California Girl. Over the next 2 years, each met someone special and married. They stayed in touch through text, Facebook, Twitter, with an annual "Happy Birthday, Missed You" call thrown in. When Alice's husband was killed in a boating accident, Talia flew out to comfort her. "I feel bad taking you away from your husband," Alice told her friend. "I wasn't going to mention it till after the funeral, but Don and I are separated 3 months ago. He's staying with a buddy from work for the time being." The next day after the funeral, they had Thai takeout back at the condo. "What time is your flight in the morning?" 11:20. Town car's coming for me at 8:15. That evening, Talia was jolted by passion when Alice's fingertips brushed hers as they passed in the hallway. They never could agree which of them had said the actual words because it was in both of their brains. One bed or two. The following hours were a blur of body parts and emotions. Impatient fingers stroked touch-starved breasts and blossoming pussies. Insistent lips sucked demanding nipples and clits. Eventually, they became as one body. Exhausted, finally, they slipped into dreamless sleep, Alice enfolded in Talia's strong arms. They were awakened at 5 a.m. by a Sousa march. "Oh, fuck! Sorry, I forgot to change it. Alexa, reset alarm for 7 a.m. They awoke at 7, blissfully tangled in each other's arms. But by 7:30, Talia was dressed and her suitcases sat by the front door. As they lingered over coffee, Alice placed her hand over her friend's. "Please, we can't leave it like this." Talia's eyes softened and she blinked back tears. A few minutes later, her phone beeped and she gently pulled away. "My town car." After they hugged, Talia suggested, "Let's give ourselves a couple of months. If we still feel this way, well, We're only airports apart. The next month, when an opening was posted in her agency's Manhattan office, Alice took it as a sign and jumped on it. Through the fall months, she and Talia carved out time for long walks in Central Park, occasional dinner dates, and lots of sleepovers. They finished October with a 5-day fall foliage tour through New England. Alice's future with Talia seemed all but certain, until Chris snuck into her life. Part 2, Chris. They met at an agency holiday party. She had just taped her last sprig of mistletoe over an arched doorway when she heard a deep voice behind her. "Excuse me?" She turned and found herself staring into dark, laughing eyes and an impossibly wide grin. She cocked her head in mock seriousness. "May I help you?" He held a clipboard, and a badge on his lapel read, "Christopher Lopez, Senior Mistletoe Tester." He pointed above her head. "You're my last test of the day." "Seriously?" She glanced at his badge again. "Christopher?" "Chris will be fine. Only my mom calls me Christopher." She remembered her boss speaking warmly of a new account rep named Chris and decided to play along. Alice Tremaine. He took her extended hand but continued to hold it. "Our test is simple and will only take a few minutes of your time." She cocked her head and smiled. "Taking a wild leap here. Involves kissing, right?" "Just in the interest of science, you understand," was his reply. She smiled, closed her eyes, and waited. The warmest lips she'd ever felt pressed softly against hers. She tried to play it cool, but her lips quickly betrayed her and responded eagerly. Finally, she willed her eyes open. "Did the mistletoe pass?" "Definitely. 5 out of 5 stars." She pretended a sigh of relief. "The decorating committee will be so happy. But aren't you forgetting the rest of your rating?" "Gotcha," she thought. "Your turn to be confused." Out loud, "Think about it. You didn't kiss the mistletoe." He appeared puzzled and his face lit up. "Ah, your amazing lips. Definitely 7 stars out of 5. Good improvising," she thought to herself. Out of the blue, he asked, "Do you like chili rellenos?" "Yes, I love them." "Why?" "Well, it's the one dish I make that all of my friends seem to love. And, geez, do I have to invite myself to his place?" "You're welcome to come to my place for dinner this Saturday evening." There, that wasn't so hard now, was it? True to his word, he had dinner ready to serve minutes after she arrived. After dinner, she helped him clear the table. "I think those were the tastiest chili rellenos I've ever eaten. What's your secret?" "Well, I can't take credit. It's my abuelita's, my grandmother's recipe. I'll write it down for you." He brought them coffee in the living room. "May I read you a poem I wrote for you?" She leaned forward. Isn't he full of surprises? "Of course." He unfolded a paper from his pocket, cleared his throat, and began. "From your purse, red satin ribbon, a sprig of berries and leaves. You tape it above the archway, the passage to your heart. You stand unself-conscious, unhesitant. You wait, hands clasped, eyes closed, lips parted. Your stillness quiets me, even as your heat draws me in. Then you're in my arms, and our lips fulfill the promise of mistletoe and of love." She had a weakness for poetry, but was helpless in the presence of a man who wrote poetry just for her. They had evidently jumped onto the Love Express, zoomed right past the Friendship Station to the Grand Central Station of romance. She had to choose. If she chose Chris, their friendship would have to grow alongside their passion. She agonized over the possibility of losing either lover, or worse, both. So she was relieved when the perfect solution came to her from a totally unexpected source. To be continued.